Well, you're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, the Carthage Chamber of Commerce kicks off its first men's meeting aimed at promoting mentorship, education, and networking. Plus, contamination prompts state officials to issue an advisory for Cow Creek in Pittsburgh. And take a look at this. We have got some dense fog out there this morning. We also have a few showers across the area as well. Look at that forecast, get you out the door. Coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 a.m. on this finally Friday, April the 25th. We have made it to the end of the week. We have some very dense fog out there. We have a few showers as well. We'll talk about all that more here in just a moment. But first, the Carthage Chamber of Commerce yesterday hosted an inaugural men's leadership breakfast at the YMCA Youth Activity Center in Carthage. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton explains, the event highlighted conversations about mentorship, education, and networking.
I talked to several participants of this event, and they say events like this are great for those who want to lead.
A strength and a peace to be able to step out and do these things.
Derek Manifold is a successful business owner of Make Believe Coffee Shop in Carthage. He was asked to lead this inaugural event to encourage men to be leaders, and like many, he discovered that starting his own business wasn't easy.
It was a little scary starting the shops. We started right around the time of COVID and the pandemic.
Attendee Christopher Palma started his digital marketing business during COVID, but he said it all worked out.
Neither of us knew that COVID was going to happen in that time frame, and so it all came out at the perfect time where I was able to transition out.
And that's why CEO of Carthage YMCA, Jonathan Roberts, says organized events like these help encourage men to be successful leaders like Manifold and Palmer.
It's for men to get together to not only talk about the good and the bad, but also about the families, things that they may need, to just have an opportunity to have fellowship.
And President of Carthage Chamber of Commerce, Julie Ream, says it's needed in the community.
I think it's important for our area when like-minded individuals, the leaderships in our community, the younger generation can come together and learn from those that are seasoned in the workforce.
With that said, all these men we spoke to attribute their success to their faith.
We do like to make sure that the Christianity is a strong emphasis.
Yeah. That's how you know it's God.
Without him, I'm really not able to be anything or do anything.
Reporting in Carthage, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
If you happen to miss this event, the organizer says there will be more of these throughout the year. And as we mentioned, dense fog out there this morning. Now, our Pittsburgh camera in downtown shows some patchy fog, but as you can see, it's not nearly as dense as it was looking from 7th and Range Line. Yeah, now take a look at the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. That fog is certainly thickened up out there. That's the thing you're going to have to be cautious with, is some of the patchy nature of this fog could cause your visibility to change rather rapidly. Got a few showers out there across the region. Again, we have slightly better shower and thunderstorm chances through about 10 a.m. along and west of 69. Again, not to say we couldn't get a shower or two east of that. I'm just saying the better chances are going to be over here as compared to over here. We have these waves that keep riding the jet stream. That's why we get these random storms in random places that go random directions and do random things. But some interesting changes. One, we're going to see this continue into the weekend. That's not a change at all. But next week, we do have a system, an actual system that's going to be coming in, and will bring us the chances for severe weather, which we'll go over in a few more minutes. We have dense fog advisory again, only in Delaware and Benton County until 8 o'clock this morning. However, the fog tracker showing you that let's see, locations less than a mile of visibility. Independence, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Cassville, Mount Vernon, and Bentonville, all less than a mile of visibility. This is impacting just about all of our major roadways and highways here in the 4 states. So again, if you're traveling this morning, wherever you're going, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you have them, and of course, slow down. Give yourself time to get where you're going. Keep plenty of distance between you and the vehicle ahead of you, because again, with the patchy nature of this fog as well, your visibilities could change very rapidly and unexpectedly, so just be prepared for that. Again, west of 69 through about 10 a.m., better chances for a scattered shower or storm. Pop-up shower or storm possible anywhere as we head into the afternoon, but those chances quite low. It will start to dry out a bit as we head overnight tonight. 59 in Joplin. There's that fog from 32nd and Rangeline and from the KDOT camera south of Pitt. 61 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures across the area have been hanging out into the upper 50s and low 60s just about all morning long. And we're looking at our highs a little cooler today, going in the low 70s out there, mostly cloudy skies, and we'll have a northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And as I mentioned, unfortunately, our severe chances are increasing a bit as we head into the next work week. We'll go over all those details with you in the full forecast, and that's coming up here in just a few more minutes. In this morning's top stories, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment has issued a stream advisory for Cow Creek due to elevated E. coli levels caused by an underground pipe failure at the Pittsburgh wastewater treatment facility. Now, the city discovered the issue on Sunday and began repairs on Monday, but it's unclear if the problem is resolved. The affected areas include Cow Creek, which flows into Spring River, and Empire Lake near Riverton. Residents are advised to avoid contact with the water, including keeping children and pets away. The advisory will be lifted once safety has been confirmed. Authorities in Montgomery County have charged a Coffeyville man with attempted murder. They've charged this man, Norman Starr. Now, in addition to attempted first-degree murder, the Montgomery County attorney has also filed charges of aggravated battery, criminal threat, and criminal discharge of a firearm at an occupied dwelling. They haven't released many details about the alleged crime, but court documents allege Starr fired a gun multiple times toward the victim, a woman, then toward a neighboring property on Tuesday morning. To be the first, of course, to see breaking news, weather, or sports, all you need to do is download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All you need to do is search for KOAM News. Newton County authorities are trying to track down the source of trash that inconvenienced several drivers in the county yesterday morning. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more on the litter dump investigation.
There was a lot of trash in the road and that there was a big traffic hazard there and some issues with the morning traffic.
If you were driving down Iris Road between I-49 and Hammer Road in Newton County, you may have noticed a massive amount of trash blocking the roadway.
Eastbound lane was almost completely blocked with trash, large amount of trash there, and the westbound lane was travelable.
This caused a hiccup in many people's morning commute.
It caused some problems with people going to work, early morning traffic, that kind of thing. The deputies were out just directing traffic, getting the school buses through and that.
Now the chief deputy says they're in the process of trying to figure out the culprit of this massive littering violation. The sheriff's office initially thought a local waste management truck could be the culprit, but based on GPS tracking, it wasn't them.
Just by the amount of trash that was there was probably a garbage truck. We don't know what else it would be to drop that much trash there. And it very well could have been accidental or something, but we just wanted to look into it.
Accident or not, someone definitely needs to clean up their act. Reporting in Newton County, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
And that trash spill is now cleaned up and the area is safe to drive through. And those are our top stories this half hour. Coming up next, the measles outbreak is on the rise again. We're going to have the latest from Washington. And later, a Las Vegas jogger expresses his gratitude after strangers save his life from a heart attack. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Topping Nation Watch this morning, President Donald Trump could soon offer an arms package to Saudi Arabia, potentially strengthening ties between the two countries. A Reuters report says the U.S. is on track to offer Saudi Arabia an arms package estimated to be worth more than $100 billion. The report says President Trump could announce the plan as soon as next month when he travels to the kingdom. A previous deal between the countries fell through during former President Joe Biden's term, which was expected to improve relations between Saudi Arabia and Israel. And a former U.S. congressman faces sentencing for federal fraud and identity theft charges. George Santos is set to be sentenced at a court on Long Island, New York today after pleading guilty to the charges. Prosecutors say Santos deserves a prison sentence of more than 7 years because his crimes made a, quote, mockery of the election system. Santos says he is profoundly sorry for his crimes, but argues 7 years in prison is too harsh of a punishment. And the U.S. could face millions of measles cases if state vaccination rates decline even more. The CDC reports 800 cases this year with a hospitalization rate of 11%. Amy Kiley has more.
This is an extremely contagious disease.
A new study shows measles could become endemic in the U.S. if vaccination rates don't improve. That means it'd be present constantly, despite its declared elimination in 2000. Over a 25-year period, the researchers project almost 900,000 measles cases if rates stay the same. They forecast about 11 million if vaccinations decline 10%, and more than 51 million if they drop by half.
Everybody go get the measles vaccine right now.
The measles shots most people get as children are proven to be highly effective.
I believe in the MMR shot.
But U.S. vaccination rates are down since the COVID-19 pandemic. The CDC reports outbreaks in West Texas and surrounding states, with some cases in other areas.
There are complications including pneumonia, including seizures, including permanent disability, and of course, death.
A group of public health experts is trying to raise awareness with the Vaccine Integrity Project. They say it's a response to mixed messages from Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
People get measles because they don't vaccinate. They get measles because the vaccine wanes.
The CDC considers the modern vaccine lifelong protection against the measles. Here's the FDA commissioner on whether parents should get it for their children.
Any child who dies from a vaccine-preventable disease is a tragedy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The CDC recommends children get their first dose of the measles vaccine when they're 12 to 15 months old. It says they should get the second between ages 4 and 6. That gives an estimated 97% immunity from the disease. And taking a look outside, we've got patchy, dense fog across a good portion of the area. You can see it from MoDOT camera 20th and range line. We also have a few scattered showers out there as well. Then we have that severe risk next week. A lot to cover, and we're going to do that when we come back. Welcome back, excuse me, to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, 717 on this finally Friday. We've made it. We have dense fog advisories, Delaware, Benton County until 8 a.m. Now remember, the local news stations don't put out advisories or warnings or things like that. Local National Weather Service offices do. And the reason I'm pointing that out is, you can take a look at our fog tracker. We've got dense fog just about everywhere. We've got Bentonville, Cassville, Mount Vernon, Pittsburgh, Parsons, and Independence, all with visibilities below 1 mile. Otherwise, we've got significantly reduced visibilities everywhere. We do not have anybody with clear skies, and the best visibilities we have right now are Sedan at 4.7 miles. This is impacting every major highway in the area, every major roadway. You got to slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Leave distance between you and the car in front of you. And also be prepared. Some of this is somewhat patchy, so you may get into a clear spot and go, hey, all right, start to speed up. And the next thing you know, your visibility drops back down to almost zero. So be careful. Got some showers now entering parts of Vernon County and western Barton County. And it's stretching along and just right along the 69 corridor down in northeastern Oklahoma. Our better chances through the morning for any additional scattered showers or storms looks to still be west of the 69 corridor. But again, I'm not saying we couldn't see something east of that. It's just the better chances are over there until about 10 o'clock in the morning. Then we go right back to the same pattern we've seen for going on, 4 days now almost, of just pop-up showers and thunderstorms, hit and miss here, there, everywhere, or nowhere in some cases. Not expecting much, though, outside of that. No severe weather is expected either. That's some fantastic news. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy. Starting tomorrow, couple of showers here or there, but as we go late morning into the afternoon, we'll start to see a few more scattered showers and storms. And again, no severe weather is expected at this time, but some rumbles of thunder will certainly be possible. This kind of winds down late Saturday night and Sunday morning, and then Sunday we kind of repeat this whole process again. All right, another look at that fog from 7th and Range Line. Skies mostly cloudy. Couple of storms out there, otherwise mostly cloudy, upper 60s by 11 a.m. Our highs today looking to be a little cooler for some of us, depending on how much sunshine you get, because we are looking at mostly cloudy skies, but as you saw just now, could get some sunshine, might make you a little warmer, but we're looking low to mid 70s. Northwest winds 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy through the evening and overnight, back into the upper 50s with a north breeze at around 5 to 10. Now, what I really want to talk to you about is as we roll into next week. We talked about yesterday the cap that was hopefully going to be in place for a good portion of Monday. It was looking as though it may not stop thunderstorms completely from developing, but it was going to limit thunderstorm coverage for Monday. Well, regrettably, that may not necessarily be the case at this point. That cap may be a little weaker. It may be a little easier for these storms to punch through as we head into Monday late evening and overnight. So here we go. After about 5, 6 o'clock, we start to get thunderstorms developing along a very slow-moving frontal boundary. And some of these could be severe. Now, some bad news is, as well, our severe risk heading into Monday has gone up, and we'll show you that in a moment. Those will continue overnight into early Tuesday. A few scattered storms initially, and then as we head into the afternoon again, that front gets a little closer. It's still moving very slowly. We'll have another round of thunderstorms develop along that front, and those could be severe as well, and they won't be out of our area. That severe threat really won't wind down until we get into early Wednesday morning. So here's the problem that we've got. Again, on the extended severe weather outlook, there's still only the two categories, possible or probable. Probable was up north of Kansas City yesterday. It is not now. It stretches back into our neck of the woods, which has expanded the possible as well. And as we head into Tuesday, that possible risk begins to shift off to the east progressively as we get additional storm development along that front. We've been talking about this severe risk heading into next week for the last several days. It's been showing up for the last several days. You should be prepared for that chance of strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into the start of the next work week. Between here and there, again, some scattered storms for the weekend. Nothing severe expected there. A little warmer Sunday, low 80s Monday. Thunderstorm chances, scattered ones at least, continuing until Thursday. Will dry out by the end of next week. Let's check your forecast. We will be back with more right after this. Well, there are some angels in Sin City. They came to rescue a Las Vegas runner who suffered a heart attack and briefly died. Molly McBride reports.
Mid-March, Young sets off for a run at Lone Mountain Trail. Only 3/4 of a mile in, he stops to use the restroom when his world changes forever.
I came out of the bathroom and I guess that's when I died.
Young has a heart attack and collapses. His heart stops on the trail. Miraculously, 2 Air Force officers are nearby.
Talk about the right time.
Young's partner, Betsy Vencius, tells me they weren't the only 2 who jumped in to help. And while Young underwent heart surgery and recovered, Vencius made it her mission to find the angels who saved him.
How do we find these people? So my niece said, why don't you put up a sign? I'm like, oh my God, what a great idea.
She posts this sign on the Lone Mountain Trailhead with a message written by Young himself.
If you were the angel who saved my life and allowed me to take one more breath, I so admire your courage and would welcome the chance to meet you when and if you are ready.
And within only 48 hours, those angels responded. 1.
We were so excited to see that your sign on the trail today, knowing that you had survived.
After the other.
God bless the second life you have. You are a miracle, Mr. Young.
Proving to both Young and Vencius just how strong Las Vegas is.
There are so many people that are so much better than what we give them credit for. I'm proud to say I live in Vegas. I really am.
Incredible story. Now, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, some of the signs of a potential heart attack include chest pain, lightheadedness, and shortness of breath. Again, just an absolutely amazing story of people in the right place at the right time. Well, coming up, thousands gather to pay their respects ahead of Pope Francis's funeral. And some patchy dense fog, a few scattered showers. We'll talk about that forecast as we head into the weekend when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It is coming up now on 7/29 on this finally Friday, April the 25th. I'm Chris Warner. Thanks for sticking with us. Well, Joplin High School's Constitution team took first place at the state competition and got recognized in a big way because of it. President of the Missouri Bar Association, Shelley Dreyer, visited the school to congratulate the students in person.
Important that all Americans have a civic education and understand the basic principles of the Constitution, because that is the basis of our democracy. To see these students having such a wealth of knowledge about the Constitution is so refreshing.
Now, she had also made it clear during her visit that the spotlight should be on the students and their incredible achievement. An event at the Miami Public Library got some young green thumbs dirty. Area kids learned how to make dish gardens. Experts from the Ottawa County OSU Extension Office gave the kids step-by-step instructions on how to plant and create their own unique botany design.
Personally, I like doing these activities. I love being able to teach kids, and to watch them come back as 4-H members teaching kids, I think that's when we know we've done our jobs.
Now, that free event was open to aspiring botanists ages 4 to 12. Carl Junction community members cut the ribbon on the newest farmers market in the 4 states, right next to the Briarbrook Golf Course. This is the first time CJ has ever hosted its own market. There were about a dozen local vendors with lots of options to pick from. Honey, soaps, flowers, and who wouldn't like these, even some strawberries.
We have a pick-your-own strawberry. We've got around 20,000 strawberry plants. We have about 1,000 lavender plants that we make our own oil. And we sell different varieties of lemongrass, lavender products. This is really a nice opportunity that Carl Junction has started for all of us.
The Carl Junction Farmers Market will be open Thursday evenings through October. Well, we got that patchy fog out there this morning. We also have a few showers. We're going to start, though, of course, with our live look in downtown Pittsburgh. Fog's not been as dense, at least from this perspective, but you can see we still have some patchy fog on the horizon. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline has improved quite a bit since just 15 minutes ago, where that fog was pretty thick. Still patchy fog out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker, showers, Barton County, southern Vernon, back into Bourbon County, parts of Crawford County, and down into Ottawa and Delaware counties as well. We'll have slightly better chances of a few additional scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder west of 69. Not saying we couldn't see something to the east, but the better chances are to the west. And then after that, transitions to just the same thing we've been through for the last 3 or 4 days now, just pop-up storm chances. Dense fog advisories, Delaware County, Benton counties until 8 a.m. rather, but dense fog is kind of everywhere. Independence now at 0 visibility. Okay, 0. And you can see how dark this is and how big of a patch this is into Montgomery and Labette counties, stretching down into northern parts of Craig and the Wada counties. So Independence, Parsons, let's take a look here. Mount Vernon, Cassville, Bentonville, all less than a mile of visibility. Everybody with reduced visibility. Sedan still has the best visibility, and it's not even that terrific at 4.2, tied up there with Fort Scott. So again, slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights, if you have them, leave distance between you and the car ahead of you. And be prepared, too, for rapidly changing visibility conditions on your morning commute. Into the afternoon we go. Again, an isolated pop-up shower storm will be possible. We're otherwise looking to be mostly cloudy as we head through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening hours. Temperatures this morning, very similar to what we've seen the last several mornings. 62 in Joplin, 61 in Pittsburgh. We've got upper 50s and low 60s across the board. In fact, we only have a couple of upper 50s left, it looks like now. Majority of us into the low 60s. Our highs today, depending on how much sunlight you get. And there's some debate on whether we'll get what kind of clearing we'll get. We're looking at low to mid 70s on average, but some upper 70s absolutely possible with those mostly cloudy skies as we head through the afternoon. And of course, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent directly to your phone, and you know what's better? It doesn't cost you a thing. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, thousands continue to gather to mourn Pope Francis, who will likely be remembered as the Pope of the people. The faithful paying their final respects in Rome, pouring in from all across the world. At last check, the Vatican reported that at least 90,000 people had visited the Pope's coffin inside the St. Peter's Basilica. The Pope's funeral slated for Saturday. Sherelle Hubbard has more on Pope Francis's funeral rites and how they are as unconventional as he was.
Pope Francis's coffin will be closed Friday evening ahead of Saturday's funeral. In the meantime, hundreds flocked to St. Peter's Square in the night Thursday, hoping to say their final farewells to the beloved pontiff while they still can. His body has been lying in state at St. Peter's Basilica since Wednesday, before it is to be transferred to the Santa Maria Maggiore Basilica for burial Saturday.
In my opinion, because he was unique in everything, he was special, and therefore, this choice of the Basilica of the Madonna is special.
Pope Francis said in his final testament that he wished to be buried in a simple tomb in the ground.
It is for sure that he is really humble. No, he always believe in difference. No, he want to create something new.
As part of Francis's push to simplify the papal funeral rites, doing away with the tradition of having 3 coffins of cypress, lead, and oak, and he opted for one open wooden coffin. He was the first Latin American pontiff and the first to call himself Francis. In death, Francis's unorthodox approach seemingly continuing on, instructing that a simple tomb come, quote, without particular ornamentation, and bearing the inscription, Franciscus.
I think it's good for him because he feels at home here. He stopped here before and after every trip that he took overseas. So I think this is close to his heart, so it's good that he's being buried here.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Now at 8 tonight, the U.S. Cardinal Kevin Farrell will preside over the rite of the sealing of the coffin. He is the Camerlengo tasked with making arrangements for the Pope's funeral. According to the Vatican, at least 130 foreign delegations, including about 50 heads of state and 10 reigning monarchs, will attend Pope Francis's funeral on Saturday. A Vatican spokesman says the public can begin visiting Pope Francis's tomb at the Roman Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore as early as Sunday morning. Let's check out our top stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. It is Friday, you know that, and you know what that means. Shannon Becker back in the studio with us with his big 3 stories of the week. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker. It's this guy, by the way, in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning to you, Shannon. Been a busy week across the area between severe weather, flooding, and a number of other things going on top of that.
This and that and this and that. Here we go.
They're everywhere.
Big 3 stories, live and local, what's happening where you live. Kayakers on Center Creek. It's not really recommended when the water is running so heavy to be out on the water. It wasn't against the law or anything, but 2 kayakers actually called to the Carl Junction Fire Department and said, hey, we're stranded out here on Center Creek. They had their phone with them.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's good, though. At least they had a way to call for help.
So one was on the bank, had their kayak. The other one had lost the kayak, was hanging onto a tree for quite a while. They were rescued. Everybody's all safe. Of course, the water is going down currently. Number 2 story, KOAM News Now. You know, it's turkey season. I-49 over the weekend, and our number 2 story, turkey through a windshield of a tractor trailer. I don't know if you've heard of this before. I've
not heard of that before, but until now, anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. You're talking about 30, 35 pounds flying through your windshield. The turkey did not survive. Sorry about that. Driver did suffer some moderate injuries and was transported to an area hospital. So it's turkey season through May 11th. This is actually the 3rd turkey versus vehicle, if you want to call it, collision, actually in the last couple of weeks. So
see, that's just and of course, some way somehow managed to go through the driver's side of the cab.
All places.
Couldn't go anywhere else. That happened to be the
place.
place. But thankfully, the truck driver, even though he had injuries, was able to stop the truck safely and get some help.
Our number 1 story, of course, it was storms. We were live as that tornado warning siren went off on Sunday afternoon and then followed that storm. Stopped, of course, in Carl Junction. And we were first there live on the scene showing you all that damage. It was our biggest story of the week, of course. A lot of people still even, look at that. Trampoline wrapped around that tree there. Of course, the trampoline, not necessarily that big, but it was an EF1 storm, Carl Junction Fire Department. They said everybody's back to normal now. Of course, power is back on, but a lot of trees still need to be picked up and a lot of debris. And then on my way home, the cool thing that I thought was this. You know how all the kids love to play in the water and stuff like this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I was just driving down the road. Oh, they cut it off. Well, there were some kids playing in the ditch.
Well, hey, you
That's
gotta
all right.
you got to have a little bit of fun,
Yeah.
with everything else going on. You
All
got to
right.
take a break.
So the other day, our bonus story of the week, the Pensacola Dam, they are releasing 52,000 cubic feet of water per second. So we got to go with Fly Home Aviation and see above the dam. It was really cool. That Pensacola Dam water release, it's still really hard, really heavy right now. So a lot of people are out there kind of enjoying looking at that. It's pretty magnificent if you've never seen that much water coming out of the dam.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been around for a dam release down there.
It's
But
really,
I
really
can't
cool.
begin to imagine the sounds and what it looks like.
It's really, really, really cool. So you have to check that out if you can. It's right now still at 50,000 cubic feet per second. So they'll probably keep that up, I'm going to guess, for the next day or so, because we are expecting some more rain.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are expecting. We've needed this rain, but as we know, we're getting a little too much and too short of a time, and that's been the problem. That's what's led to this flooding. So, of course, Shannon, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes,
It's always
sir.
a pleasure to have you here, and we, of course, will be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:44 on this finally Friday. We have a couple of dense fog advisories, Delaware, Benton County, for the next about 16 minutes. However, we have got dense fog well outside of just that realm. Independence, Parsons, Bentonville, at least at this point, that's come up a bit. We have only 3 communities with less than a mile of visibility, but others not far behind. This is impacting pretty much every major highway and roadway we have here in the 4 states, as we've been reminding you all morning, and as we do every time we have dense fog. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you have them. Leave distance between you and the car ahead of you, and make sure you got time to get where you're going. And watch out as well. Sometimes it's been patchy, so you may run into a spot where it's clear, and then the next thing you know, your visibility is gone again. So be careful this morning. So I have a couple of lingering showers in the Barton County, Eastern Crawford, Eastern Bourbon, and Southern Vernon counties out there, and a couple of isolated showers down in Ottawa and Delaware County. Those probably not even reaching the ground. As we go through the morning along and to the west of the 69 corridor, we'll have slightly better chances of a shower or thunderstorm out there. Again, not saying we can't get anything to the east, it's just to the west, there's a slightly better chance. After that, though, we continue our 4th day of this pattern, it seems. We've got waves riding the jet stream. It's just enough to trigger some of these random showers and storms we've been seeing. Most of them don't move very much. They don't do very much. Some of them out west yesterday got a little intense. There was one storm near Freedom, Oklahoma, so close to Woodward. It didn't really move hardly at all. It was moving at most at 5 miles an hour most of the time. It generated 4 or 5 separate tornadoes, thankfully in a rural area, not much around it, but 5 tornadoes, the same storm in almost the same spots. Our 5 tornado reports from roughly the same little zone because that storm just didn't move. Which is also good because it could have taken it into populated areas, but that's what they've been seeing. We've been seeing that same pattern for a while. As we head into Saturday, we're going to have opportunities for scattered showers and storms. No severe weather expected from this activity, but some rumbles of thunder from the afternoon into the evening hours, and then we'll get it late evening. We're mostly cloudy overnight. We go into Sunday. This pattern repeats once again. Foggy conditions beginning to improve. Again, storms possible through about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Upper 60s by 11. Mostly cloudy otherwise, northwest breeze at 5 to 10. Temperatures, depending on how much clearing you get, how much sunshine you get out there, most of those I think are looking low to mid 70s, but some upper 70s absolutely possible. We go into the evening, mostly cloudy, and overnight as well. North winds 5 to 10, upper 50s for our lows. Now into Monday, we're looking at those thunderstorm chances. Now this time, the reason this is a little more serious is we have a frontal boundary that's going to be setting this off. And it's going to be an actual system that's setting us off, not just a wave riding the jet stream. We're talking bringing in all the appropriate ingredients across the area for severe weather. Now, it looks more likely from late Monday into Tuesday morning that it will happen again as we head into late Tuesday morning and afternoon along that same boundary. This boundary is going to move very slowly. So we'll have thunderstorms refire along that. They'll be strong to severe, and they may take a minute or two before they start to slowly slide out of here late Tuesday into early Wednesday morning. As such, so again, long-range outlook, we just get possible and probable. The probable stayed north of Kansas City yesterday. It has been significantly expanded into our area as well, which means the possible now encompasses the rest of our area. This severe threat, it has been showing up for several days. We've been talking about it for several days, and it continues into Tuesday as that frontal boundary slowly starts to shift off to the east. So you need to be prepared. You can't say that there's not been any warning about this. We've known about this possible severe event for the last several days. We've been talking about it the last several days. You've got to make sure you've got plans in place late Monday into Tuesday, possibly even into early Wednesday. Between here and there, no severe weather through the weekend is expected. We'll start to warm up again Sunday, and then we'll clear out, hopefully, toward the end of next week. Check your forecast. We're back with more right after this. We'll talk about thinking outside the box. A Texas woman uses empty cereal containers to create pictures and portraits. Some of her artwork is on display in a Dallas gallery. Brisedia Hogan reports.
It all started with a bowl of cereal. That's how artist Jenny Grumbles got the brilliant idea to do her cereal series.
My son and I eat a lot of cereal, and every time I see the boxes, I just think about their colors and the marketing on them, and I don't know what exact moment it clicked, but I was like, that needs to be my palette.
She has friends and neighbors for their cereal boxes, and when she had enough, she created her first piece.
Tried it out, it worked, so here I am making cereal art now. One of the most amazing parts of the cereal series is that I'm fully recycling trash to treasure.
Jenny says she's decided to only do portraits of people she loves.
Draco Mar is Frosted Mini Beats, and then Luka Charms is Luka Doncic. I spent all this time, blood, sweat, tears, never in a million years thinking that he was going to be traded.
Right now, 4 of Jenny's cereal box portraits are being displayed at Galleria Dallas. Jenny says creating each piece is truly a labor of love.
Painting takes way less time than this. This takes about 10 times as long as painting. If I want a certain color with cereal, I have to be like, okay, let's go find that exact shade of pink.
And even though it can be challenging, Jenny hopes her sustainable art inspires people.
Certainly impressive what can be done when you put your mind to it. And I've seen a lot of unique artwork over the years, and I'm sure some of you folks at home have as well. Our future track, unfortunately, not putting on very pleasant artwork as we head into next Monday late evening into the overnight. We are looking at a couple of rounds of severe weather out there. We'll have thunderstorms late Monday into early Tuesday, and then redevelopment Tuesday afternoon, lasting possibly into Wednesday morning. That's why we now have that probable severe risk as we head in parts of southeast Kansas Monday night into Tuesday, and then Tuesday night into Wednesday. That severe threat shifts just slightly east. Well, now look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this. And here's a check of today's top headlines, news you need to know before you head out the door. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment has issued a stream advisory for Cow Creek due to elevated E. coli levels caused by an underground pipe failure at the Pittsburgh wastewater treatment facility. The affected areas include Cow Creek, which flows into Spring River, and Empire Lake near Riverton. Residents are advised to avoid contact with the water, including keeping children and pets away. Authorities in Montgomery County have charged Norman Starr of Coffeyville with attempted murder. In addition, they have also filed charges of aggravated battery, criminal threat, and criminal discharge of a firearm at an occupied dwelling. Details are limited, but they include firing a gun multiple times toward a woman and a neighboring property. Newton County authorities are trying to track down the source of the trash that inconvenienced some drivers on Iris Road yesterday morning. Chief Deputy says the eastbound lane was completely blocked with a massive amount of trash. Initial theories thought a waste management company's truck was the culprit, but it was determined that wasn't the case. And this morning, some patchy, dense fog out there. Plan your route accordingly. After that, mostly cloudy, a pop-up shower or storm possible. Will be dry, low to mid-70s. Some upper 70s will be possible as well, depending on how much sunshine you see. Mostly cloudy through the evening and dry overnight as well, back into the upper 50s and low 60s. As we head into the weekend, more scattered storms, no severe weather expected. Our biggest concern comes as we head from Monday evening into Wednesday early morning, where we do have that severe threat across the area. So again, make sure you've got the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Keep you updated on those storms as we get closer. Well, a must-stop photo op is coming to Route 66 for those big fans. Springfield city leaders say artists are in the process of designing a major sculpture to honor the Mother Road. It'll be placed near the Railhaven Motel on the original route. The monument will commemorate Route 66's conception in Springfield in 1926. Springfield was just named the host city for America's Route 66 Centennial Celebration. Events across the country will kick off with a concert at the Shrine Mosque on April 30th of 2026. Of course, Route 66, a huge deal, certainly impressive. Every so often, depending on where I'm at, I like to try and take parts of old Route 66 between Carthage and Joplin, coming home. It's just, it's really neat, the history there. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. Hope you had a great time, and if you did, make sure you come back. We'll have more news and weather for you today at noon. Have a great rest of your day.